Stephen Smith here with Christian Leadership Partners. And this is the fourth coaching session that we've done this week. And hopefully this has made a difference in your life. I know that it's been fun for me. I've really enjoyed it. Now for the last 4 days, we've been going over and rewriting our goals every single day. And if you haven't been doing that, I really encourage you to do that, because what happens is that the more that you write these goals down, the more they become a normal part of your life. So it's more than just reading your goals. It's more about writing these things down, because there's a mind-body connection that happens as you write your goals down. If we go through the process in writing our goals, then what happens is that they actually begin to come to pass in our lives. If I'm doing this every single day, then what happens is that our goals begin to prioritize themselves. And we start seeing, wow, I've written this goal down 3 different times this week, and I'm starting to see that this is actually something that's important to me. You'll also find that the most important goals are actually going at the top of your list, and as you go down and try and think about things, the least important ones actually come down here, down to the bottom. So what we're going to concentrate on today is taking these goals and putting them in an order that makes sense to us, not just as they come to our mind, but we'll go through this process after we get through reading our chapter in Proverbs. But ideally what we want to do is we want to start prioritizing our goals. The prioritization of our goals will keep us on track and give us a purpose to recording them daily. If I can record these goals every single day, what will happen is that I'm going to start seeing them manifest themselves in my life. And that's just the way that things go. So what we want to do is we'll start looking through our goals and the prioritization of them right after we finish reading our chapter in Proverbs today. Now remember, we're reading a chapter in Proverbs so that we can actually begin to train our mind to see how the Word of God can start working itself in our lives. And we know that King Solomon wrote these Proverbs so that we could understand them. And in fact, Proverbs 1:3, it tells us that their purpose is to teach people to live disciplined and successful lives, to help them do what is right, just, and fair. So that promise is for every single one of us. If I can read this every single day, then it'll make a huge difference in my life. And in fact, I encourage you to read a chapter every night before you go to sleep. So if you can do these goal videos at the beginning of your day and then complete your day with the Word of God, then you're going to see a huge difference in your life, and you're going to start seeing these things come to pass. So let's take a look at Proverbs chapter 4. I think that you'll really enjoy this. My children, listen when your father corrects you. Pay attention and learn good judgment, for I'm giving you good guidance. Don't turn away from my instruction. For I too was once my father's son, tenderly loved as my mother's only child. My father taught me, take my words to heart, follow my commands, and you will live. Get wisdom, develop good judgment. Don't forget my words or turn away from them. Don't turn your back on wisdom, for she will protect you. Love her and she will guard you. Getting wisdom is the wisest thing that you can do, and whatever else you do, develop good judgment. If you prize wisdom, she will make you great. Embrace her and she will honor you. She will place a lovely wreath on your head. She will present you with a beautiful crown. My child, listen to me, do as I say, and you will have a long, good life. I will teach you wisdom's ways and lead you in straight paths. When you walk, you won't be held back. When you run, you won't stumble. Take hold of my instruction. Don't let them go. Guard them, for they are the keys to our life. Don't do as the wicked do, and don't follow the path of evildoers. Don't even think about it. Don't go that way. Turn away and keep moving. For evil people can't sleep until they've done their evil deed for the day. They can't rest until they cause someone to stumble. They eat the food of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. The way of the righteous is like the first gleam of dawn, which shines ever brighter until the full light of day. But the way of the wicked is like total darkness. They have no idea what they are stumbling over. My child, pay attention to what I say. Listen carefully to my words. Don't lose sight of them. Let them penetrate deep into your heart. For they bring life to those who find them and healing to their entire body. Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Avoid all perverse talk. Stay away from corrupt speech. Look straight ahead. Fix your eyes on what lies before you. Mark out a straight path for your feet. Stay on the safe path. Don't get sidetracked. Keep your feet from following evil. So Proverbs chapter 4 gives us a really great picture of what King David told his son Solomon. And Solomon took the time to write these things down. I encourage you to find the verses that actually stood out to you and pay attention to them. If you write them down, and if you look on the goal worksheet down in the comments section, you can actually put this into a format that you can understand and that you can actually meditate on day after day, or especially today. What we really want to do is we want to start looking at those things. Now, we'd mentioned that we want to go through the prioritization of our goals. Now, Proverbs tells us this today. Proverbs 4:25 through 27 says, "Look straight ahead, fix your eyes on what lies before you. Mark out a straight path for your feet. Stay on that safe path. Don't get sidetracked. Keep your feet from following evil." This promise in Proverbs actually helps us to say, wait a second, I need to take these goals and I need to start prioritizing them. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at our goal worksheet. Hopefully you're using the worksheet that we have down in the comment section below. And what I encourage you to do is to look at your goals and start listing them. Which are your short-term goals? Which are the ones that you can actually accomplish in the next day or so? You want to look at your near-term goals, which are the next 30-day goals. And then you want to look at your long-term goals, which are what you actually want to accomplish. Now, if we can prioritize these and say, wait, I need to do these first before I do these, before I do these. And you may find that some of them aren't important at all, and you can just say these aren't relevant to each other, and you can cross them off the list and not write them down again if they come up. You also want to take a look at what you can do today. Now, these are going to be your short-term goals, but if you can accomplish something today and continue to do that same goal every single day, then what will happen is that you're going to start seeing a change in your life. For example, your goal may be to read one chapter of Proverbs a day. Now, you just listen to it. But what if your goal were to, before you go to bed tonight, read one chapter of Proverbs? Read Proverbs chapter 4. Today is the 4th day. I hope that that works out for you, because you're going to see that as you do these things, the Word of God will actually make a huge, huge difference in your life. The next thing that we want to do is we want to identify the emotionally based goals. Now, these are goals that are based on love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness. These are all based off of the fruit of the Spirit. But if we can take a close look at these emotionally based goals, these are the ones that are going to prioritize themselves and be most important to you. You're going to be able to identify a purpose to them and keep them prominent in your mind. They'll go into your subconscious much, much faster because they're emotionally based. Now, a good example of this is I'd ask any one of you who are mature enough to remember where you were on 9/11 in 2001. When that happened, that was an emotional event, and a lot of us are saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe that this happened. But you know what also happened? You remembered exactly where you were. So if you can do that based on that emotional event in your life, what happens when you identify goals that are emotionally based and based off of love? Well, those goals will become much more important to you. And we want to identify the emotion that's associated with that goal. So if we identify a goal that's based off of hate, then that's a negative emotion, and it's probably not a goal that you want to pursue. The last thing that we want to do is we want to identify what's the most important. And we can do that by asking ourselves the question, why? We want to ask ourselves why several times in a row. For example, my goal may be to read a chapter in the Word of God every single day. Well, why do I want to do that? Because I know that it gets into my spirit. Well, why do I want to do that? Because it changes my outlook on life. Why do I want to change the outlook on my life? So that I can become a better person, so that I can love my wife better. I mean, once we've identified these goals by asking ourselves why, what'll happen is that these will begin to prioritize themselves as the most important. The greater the whys that are going all the way down to the lowest level, we may see that our goals are actually not only being prioritized, but they're actually being refined. So that's what we want to do. We want to start prioritizing these goals because they'll make all the difference in the world to you. Now, hopefully these coaching sessions have really made something important for you. And if you're watching these on Facebook, that's great. I really encourage you to share this, write a comment down in the comment section in Facebook, but you won't be able to download the notes until you go to our Facebook page. Now, if you go to our YouTube page, if you go to our YouTube page, you can subscribe over here. And as you subscribe, then you're going to get notifications about every single one of these videos as they come out, but you'll also be able to download the notes which are down in the comments below. I really encourage you to do that. Don't be afraid to ask me for the link to our web page as well. And you'll also find that and our notes and also our videos there. Well, hopefully these videos are making a huge difference in your life. I know that it's been a real blessing for me to share these things with you. And I hope that you're using these to become your best you. And that's what our ultimate goal is ultimately, right? And if I can become my best me, then what will happen is that I can go out, become a miracle going someplace to happen.